Sit down. Thank you very much.
We begin this meeting by acknowledging that Quinte West is on Indigenous land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. We thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Long before today, there have been Indigenous peoples who have been the stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the traditional territories of the Anishinaabeg, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte First Nation. This territory is covered by numerous treaties. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contribution of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening this community in particular, and our province and country as a whole. This acknowledgement serves as recognition of the contributions and historical significance of Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island and demonstrates our collective commitment to meet the promises and address the challenges of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission within our community.
So, City Clerk, have you got a comment to make at this time? No? Director Grimman, do you have anything with respect to the city washrooms that you want to?
Your Worship, I'll refer you to Councillor Card, who's willing to make a statement based on decisions made.
Okay, Councillor Card, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. Council discussed the matter in closed and would like to report out in open to let the public know the approach the city has taken to address the matter, given the great public interest and those in attendance here this evening. Council approved the following, and that Council directs staff to proceed with procuring security for City Hall for the hours when the library is open, but City Hall is not, as a pilot project, and that Council directs staff to report back on related incidents at City Hall during the pilot period, and that Council directs staff to explore options for hiring a community support and outreach worker in conjunction with community partners as a long-term approach to assisting with vulnerable populations in the downtown core, but not limited to City Hall. And that Council directs staff to explore external funding opportunities in conjunction with community partners to fund a community support and outreach worker, and that Council directs staff to work with the OPP to develop safety by environmental design strategies for all city facilities, including installing signage at City Hall that would deter illegal activity. And that Council directs staff to report back with the requested information prior to 2026 budget discussions.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we've got
disclosures.
Think, Wendy Ouellette just brought me a hat, and the hat obviously is Go Hawks Go. The Golden Hawks are in Calgary at this time and will start playing. A great group of young men who cherish the ability to play hockey and win games. So we wish them well. That's what we're doing. Thank you very much. And Councillor Boyce, what do you got Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. And perhaps I know many of us can't, unfortunately, go to Calgary to watch our team play, but we want to be able to see them in action somehow. And perhaps Wendy can come up and talk about the partnership between the Kinsmen and the team in having a viewing area at the arenas for $2 and a donation of a non-perishable food item for our Quinte West Food Bank.
Wendy, are you comfortable doing
you
that?
okay,
Or
Wendy?
would you rather come on up?
Perfect.
Thank you.
The viewing parties will be tomorrow and Friday at 2 p.m. and Monday and Tuesday at 4 p.m. The games are, of course, 2 hours earlier than that out west, but we'll have, the bar will be open, not necessary, I know, but food, draws, because and fundraising for the food bank, et cetera. So everybody's
Well,
welcome.
that's fantastic. I think that idea, the fundraiser and the food bank is great.
Yes.
because,
Always a need, so we will be doing that.
And Your Worship?
Yes, go ahead.
And I know Wendy brought, as the team was victorious in the Ontario Junior Hockey, we're very fortunate to have the Buckland Trophy here in the arena. Very few cities are able to claim it, and we're very fortunate that we won this year, and and Quinte West will certainly be known throughout throughout Canada. We've got a tremendous team. I'm hoping what I did today is as you know, I've got a small collection of Quinte West sweaters that I've obtained. As a big supporter, and I've brought enough for council around this table, like to borrow, that we can get a picture with the cup, and we can send it to the team out west as a moral support, because we know this year is going to be the year that they're going to win it, and they're going to bring back the Centennial Cup to us. So I've got the sweaters here, and I'm going to distribute them to council, and if they can put them on, and we can get a picture around with the cup, and we'll send it off to the team.
I just hope your sweaters didn't shrink in the closet.
They fit me, so they'll fit everyone else. So,
I hope they don't smell like happy bags.
no, they don't. And they've all been
kidding.
cleaned. Okay, so
We'll do it at the end, so we're not making the others wait.
it'll take just a minute, and then that way they can take the trophy back So if we can get the sweaters on and just pass them around. They're all,
Mike, you want
I'm partial to any.
we'll pass them. We've got enough for all the council. And
well, that's a pretty one.
And many of them, as you know, the team has, very supportive of our community, whether it's the Children's Foundation or the Trenton Memorial Hockey Foundation. So these sweaters are all,
Here, guys, here's some shirts.
I got some more here. I've got sweaters here.
This is pretty.
I gotta work full-time to support these. Oh, I'm backwards. I took the goalie sweater.
Oh,
Back just in time to start the meeting.
Here we go.
Thanks.
Here we go.
That's the color I have at home too.
Yeah.
Where are we going to stand to get a picture?
Well, we'll get the trophy.
Bring the trophy back here.
And Wendy, thank you very much. We wish the boys well, wish them all well, all the teams, not just the one that's going to win, but all the teams. And yes, it's a great experience. It sure is. So they worked hard to get there. They sure did. Okay. Any announcements from Councillor Sharp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to report to council that I had the opportunity last week to attend the Ontario Small Urban Municipalities Conference in Collingwood, and we're all very thankful for that opportunity for training that we get. One of the, it was 2 days, and they had great workshops on housing, working with DBIAs, challenges that we face in our communities. There was a lot of discussions that we all learned from. But one of the ones I wanted to also comment on that I find that we are really doing well in many areas that came up. The other communities are facing these challenges, and we seem to be on the right track with many of our initiatives. So I thought that was positive. But one of the things that I really enjoyed was they had a speaker from Stratford who was the former mayor and a company. And what happened with Stratford, and this related to cyber security incident response planning. And the mayor, former mayor, talked about how Stratford had been their cybersecurity, all their servers, all their phones, everything was attacked and held at ransom for a week. So they lost their inability to communicate, do payroll, so many things. And so they encouraged all municipalities to undertake with their emergency response team a cybersecurity incident response plan. And in talking, I came back and I did talk to the directors, and they have a lot of work that has been done. And one of the things, Chief Whalen is unable to attend tonight, but he has indicated that the cybersecurity incident response planning with our emergency team, emergency measures, which I know the mayor's on and others, will be the next exercise that the city will undertake. But it was just scary. Stratford ended up held at ransom, had to pay over $1 million, had to pay to get all their servers back on, which was over $2 million. And what they learned in terms of communication without computers and cell phones, unbelievable, and reaching staff and community. So I wanted to share that and to see that our team was, again, moving forward with that. Thank you.
Councillor Katsopas?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to recognize the extraordinary 31-year career of Detachment Commander Christina Reeve. Not surprising, her retirement celebration was filled with so many positive remarks, and a common theme was that she continued to work hard and mentor others right up until the last day of service. So Christina leaves a lasting legacy. We wish her all the best.
And she's employed by,
The city.
as well as the OPP. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. I would echo Councillor Kotsavos's remarks. It was a wonderful, wonderful party, many great speeches. She touched the lives of many, and she will be greatly missed, that's for sure. Although you can visit her at the farmer's market for sure. I just wanted to note that tomorrow, Trenton Memorial Foundation Fashion for Foundation 2025 is on. You can still buy tickets, I believe, at this point. The website is still live, so I don't think they're sold out yet. It is May 8th tomorrow at Battawa Community Center. Tickets are $30 each. It's a great show, I've heard, so looking for something to do tomorrow night. It's a great cause. Thanks.
Councillor Allier? Then I'll go.
I just want to echo my remarks to Inspector Reeve in her retirement. She certainly has gave us a great period of service, and not only to our area, but I know she's seconded many times for other areas too, and we wish her well in her retirement, although I think she's going to be maybe busier now than she was before, I don't know, but anyway, she's certainly not going to go away. She's still going to be representing our community, that's for sure, so we wish her all the best, and thank you for your service.
Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree with Councillor Allier, and she is going to be staying and living in the area, which is great. Also, tomorrow night at the Empire Theatre, the Children's Foundation is presenting a documentary supported by Shandy Davis of Electro Cables. It starts at 7 if you'd like to go. It's going to be a very good documentary.
Councillor Reed or Councillor Freeman?
Yes, thank you very much. I would just like to mention that May 17th, the Frankfurt River Fest will be happening from 3 until 9 p.m. approximately. There will be children's activities, food vendors, a vendor village, music, and of course the fireworks at dark. So you won't want to miss it. It sounds like a great event. Thank you.
That's this coming weekend, right?
No, weekend after next. This is Mother's Day weekend, so
Oh,
you
I'm
need
sorry.
to
Yeah,
pamper
yeah,
Jane.
sorry. Yeah, you're right. I almost missed one. That'd be a
No,
disaster. Councillor
yeah.
Freeman.
Yes, I too want to wish Christine Reeves all the good luck in the world with her retirement from the OPP. It was a wonderful thing when we hired her, and there was never a moment that I didn't feel better that she was at the helm. So congratulations to an amazing career. We were proud to have her part of our community.
Councillor O'Neill? Anything?
Well, I could add something else. If the OPP would like to comment on the number of impaired chargers the first part of this year and how concerning that is.
Are you prepared at this time or not impaired, prepared?
I would not have those numbers. No, I apologize. I wasn't aware that
Okay.
this question was on the agenda, so I don't have those numbers.
Okay, thank you.
But you can use one word. They're up. Councillor Stedall.
Thank you, Worship. Yes, just also to echo Councillor Card about the Fashion for Foundation tomorrow night. They also have an online auction to raise money for the Memorial Hospital Foundation. And on Saturday, we have the Community Connections Expo here at the city, here actually at City Hall from 10 to 3 on May 10th. So that's coming up. And as well, thank you to all of the members of the public that were picking up garbage and putting things out for the exchange day, the trash bash, as well as for the leaving things at the curb. I know that was pretty successful in our area. So glad to see.
Any comment on the trash bash at this time, or?
I don't have the numbers totaled, Your Worship, but we will be reporting that on all those activities to the Environmental Committee coming up in the next week or so.
Okay.
The other thing I'll just remind all council about the seedling giveaway this weekend, where staff, event staff gave over 1,000 seedlings out this year, so well received by members of the public.
And who's selling trees at this time? Not us, but who else? Conservation Authority. Thank you. Councillor Armstrong. Councillor Quinte.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to offer congratulations to Fire Chief John Whalen on achieving the King Charles III Coronation Medal for exceptional service and dedication to public safety. John, I know you're not here tonight, but congratulations, great work, and thank you for your service.
Thank you. I'm going to ask our temporary acting detachment commander to give us a few words about his experiences and yeah, you go ahead. I can tell everybody you live in Carrington. No, I shouldn't say that, but you're close to Quinte West.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Mario Royer, and I'm the inspector for your detachment for the month of May. As far as my career, I'm in my 33rd year, and I also will be retiring at the end of June. So I'm currently the detachment commander for James Bay, which would be Moosonee, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, and Hearst. However, my family does reside here in Quinte West, so I was asked if I would like to fill in for Inspector Reeve in the interim until Inspector McNaughton takes the helm. So I was glad to accept that. So I'm extremely happy to be here, and certainly if you need anything, please don't hesitate to give us a shout. Like I said, I'm in my 33rd year. I've worked in many different locations and regions, probably I think 9 or 10 detachments throughout my career. But I can already tell that the cooperation between the OPP and the municipality here in Quinte West is tremendous. And yeah, so I really do appreciate that, and looking forward to spending the month of May here. Thank you.
Well, you're in the best part of the world, you know that. That's why you live here. So And of course, when you leave or whatever, there's only 5 words you have to remember. That's it. Constable Ludington, anything to add to? You sure? Anything? Well, I was hoping you might make a comment about our washrooms or anything like that. I mean, you do have some data there if you.
No, the only thing I can say on that is that we'll work with the city and do whatever we can to assist you guys in mitigating any future problems that you have. So, you know, as a community partner, we'll definitely work closely with you guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And there is a phone there, and acting CEO, do you want to make any comments on what possibly the city will do to make it even safer than it is?
Well, I believe, thank you, Worship. So I believe Councillor Card put it very succinctly in terms of what the activities the city will be doing in the very near future. So once we devise that plan and put it in action, we'll let council members know. And I know when I just went outside and just talked to Cheyenne and her family, and they're extremely grateful for the direction that council has taken. So very appreciative of that. So.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, we need approval of the agenda. Moved by somebody. Moved Councillor Armstrong, seconded by Councillor Allier. Any questions or comments? Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor? Yep. Thank you. Carried. Okay. Approval of the minutes, the regular council meeting minutes on April 16th be approved, and further the minutes of the closed session council meeting held on April 16, 25 be approved. Mover and a seconder. Councillor Stedall move, seconded by Councillor Sharp. Comments or questions? Comment? Go ahead. Got it? No? All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay.
Sorry, are you going to do pecuniary interest?
Yes.
The
I
declaration?
did that earlier. That's so I didn't do it again.
Oh, that was not, it was enclosed
Well, I
and
just
open?
did it in general when we were
Yeah,
here. But
so I
anyway.
didn't, sorry,
It's
didn't
okay.
declare it there, so.
No problem. Any, yeah.
So I'll declare a conflict of interest
Any,
just on item 2G.
Okay,
Due
thank
to
you.
relations.
Okay. Josh, any statement at this time, or you're good? Okay. All right, delegation, we're talking about our master plan. Come on up. Who's making it? Oh,
Hi,
okay.
Mr. Mayor, maybe I could just start
Yeah, go ahead.
that off and introduce our presenters this evening. Thank you, through Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon to yourself and members of council. I'm pleased to introduce this delegation and the 15-year Parks and Recreation Master Plan forthcoming on today's agenda. Joining us virtually are consultants Danielle Lenarczyk-Biss and Mary Catherine Miak, who, alongside their teams, undertook this important work in partnership with city staff over the last year plus. I certainly thank them and their team for their dedication, interests, and efforts to bring forward what I consider to be a very thoughtful, exciting, and financially responsible plan for Quinte West. Before I turn the floor over to Danielle and Mary Catherine, I do want to take the opportunity to acknowledge and thank our internal staff team, including Kelly West from Planning and Development Services, Sean Beamer from our Facilities Community Services Group, Keely Byron from Parks and Public Works, Special Projects Coordinator, Samantha Reed, Rochelle Box from Corporate Communications, and Riley Walters from Finance. I also thank the city's senior staff management team, all of council, and the city's Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee for their involvement throughout the process, as well as the Quinte West community for their, and the numerous organizations around the city who participated and took the time to really provide their meaningful feedback. Throughout the project's numerous engagement efforts, we were fortunate to have a great cross-section of public feedback with different priorities identified. Really, this wasn't a process that, one group kind of overtook and we heard the loudest voice. There was representation from lots of interest groups: baseball, hockey, soccer, skateboarding, trails enthusiasts, indoor walking, dog parks, off-leash areas, pickleball, programming, events, arts and culture, just to name a few. The information's all certainly been valuable that we've collected from members of the public and all the organizations consulted, and has helped form the final draft plan, and also led us to developing the overarching theme for the plan, growing a healthy and active community for all. The plan not only prioritizes the needs for today, but sets the city up for success in meeting the demands for growth of the city for the next 15 years. The plan also demonstrates commitment to fostering a healthy community, as noted in the accompanying letter of support from Quinte Health CEO Stacey Daub. So without further delay, I will turn the floor over to Danielle and Mary Catherine for their presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And through you, Your Worship, just want to confirm that my screen sharing is working okay and you can see my slides. Did someone confirm that my slides can be seen okay?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. As Jacqueline said, my name is Danielle Anarthik-Biss. I'm an associate at Think Design, a Toronto-based planning and landscape architecture firm. I'm joined today by my colleague, Mary Catherine Mihak, a principal of Mihak, Kelly and Associates, specializing in parks and recreation planning. Together with support from RFA Consulting and Oracle Poll Research, our firms have led the development of a parks and recreation master plan for the city of Quinte West. And as Jacqueline said, the vision of our plan is to grow a healthy and active community for all. Today, we'll touch on the purpose of a master plan, Quinte West demographic and recreation context, and our timeline and consultation approach for undertaking the project. But the bulk of our presentation will focus on sharing the master plan's recommendations for programs and events, recreation facilities, parks and open spaces, and delivery of the recreation system. We'll conclude with a discussion regarding implementation and next steps. The purpose of this master plan is really to guide the city in managing parks and recreation infrastructure, service planning, and delivery over the next 15 years to 2039. The plan is a high-level, macro, strategic document intended to support the city's planning and budgeting for parks and recreation. The recommendations are based on various data sources, including surveys, meetings, usage data, site observations, parks and rec trends, and local opportunities. Ultimately, Council will determine when and how the recommendations are implemented, and these may be advanced, delayed, or amended over the next 15 years, depending on changing circumstances or additional consultation. It's important to recognize the city context. This plan is intended to assess community needs for 15 years. Based on the forecast of the development charges study shown in the table on the left side of this slide, we estimate that approximately 7,500 more residents will join the city's population by the end of this plan. The city's population will reach a total of 54,036 residents in the year 2039. Our assessments are based on this figure, as well as a current population of 46,560 residents based on the most recent census data. Section 2 of the plan discusses other sociodemographic factors like age distribution and households if you're interested. This map shows the existing context of parks and recreation in Quinte West, which includes 10 municipal facilities and 61 parks and open spaces. Our analyses consider the system holistically, taking into account the city's current and future needs for a healthy and active community. And in some cases, we provided site-specific recommendations for particular park and recreation spaces, such as Mount Pelion. This slide outlines the project process, beginning with a kickoff meeting, followed by our background review of relevant plans, policies, and usage data. We assessed some sociodemographic data from the Canadian Census, and we prepared maps and reviewed inventories of the city's parks and recreation facilities, visiting them on a site tour last May. Parallel to this, we consulted the community through online surveys directed to residents, user groups, council members, and municipal staff. We also conducted a representative telephone survey of 400 randomly selected households in Quinte West and received feedback through the Get Involved engagement page. All the important information collected during the background review and community consultation helped us analyze the current state of recreation in Quinte West and assess community interests, needs, and opportunities for improvement. We developed recommendations and a draft master plan, meeting with staff to review for initial feedback before meeting with key stakeholders, including 8-Wing, BDC, the Public Library, YMCA, and Quinte Home Builders Association. We revised the plan and presented it to the community at an in-person open house at the end of February, of which I know several of you were there. We shared the full plan online and received feedback via the Get Involved page, and we continued working with staff to confirm remaining edits to the plan. So we're now presenting the final draft of this document for your review and endorsement. So the remainder of our presentation today will focus on summarizing the recommendations of the plan, beginning with programs and events, followed by rec facilities, parks and open spaces, and service delivery. First up, programming. The community told us they wanted more frequent and more diverse programs. The plan recommends working with community groups to access participation data and introduce more sessions and accessibility for popular activities such as pickleball and fitness classes. We also suggest working with groups to facilitate short duration programs to fill gaps, such as cooking classes, repair cafes, and gardening workshops. These kinds of classes could be held in community centers, multi-purpose rooms, or outdoors in parks. The plan also encourages the city to support the introduction of small-scale arts and culture programs like open mics and art classes, as well as water, park, and trail-based outdoor programs like mountain biking clubs, themed hiking challenges, skating trails, fishing clinics, outdoor yoga, and boot camp. In terms of community and tourism events, the plan recommends to expand on holiday celebration-focused events to diversify events that focus on the city's unique heritage and cater to a range of interests and demographics, like cultural festivals and food festivals. The city can develop or support new events that align with community interests, such as a park crawl along the Trent Severn Waterway, a Tough Mudder event, or a rowing regatta. The city should provide support, resources, and promotional assistance to community organizations to increase events. As well, we suggest a tourist in your own city concept, which can help foster community and encourage residents to explore different parts of Quinte West through local tours, themed walks, community challenges, and doors open. The city should continue offering a variety of events across its wards and build attendance with appropriate timing and promotion. And to track all of this over time, we recommend a system for gathering data be implemented and reviewed to identify successes and challenges. The plan also discusses barriers to programs such as age, location, timing, and affordability. The city should continue monitoring population trends so programming can meet the evolving needs of different age groups and use the consultation results of this master plan to further investigate the reasons residents travel outside of Quinte West for programs. Importantly, the city needs to share resident feedback with recreation providers in the community to encourage organizations to address gaps. For example, we heard that residents want more programming in the evenings, and this should be communicated with the YMCA, the youth center, et cetera, to see about extending their hours. Finally, the city should explore opportunities to partner with the Quinte West Public Library to provide an expanded lending library to support self-directed recreation, such as volleyballs, basketballs, skateboards. The city could consider approaching local service groups like the Lions Club to sponsor equipment. And given the city's water access points, the lending program could later expand to include like stand-up paddleboards, kayaks, et cetera. The plan wraps up the program and events discussion with additional ideas for low-cost, family-friendly activities and a recommendation to expand opportunities for pickup sports at municipal facilities. Across all consultation groups, there was an expressed need for better communication with regards to recreation programs. One of the challenges with the city being indirectly involved in recreation programming is that there's no central location to access up-to-date information about available programs and activities. The city is proactive in promoting information about community events on its website and social media platforms, and there should be an equivalent for rec programs as well as a staff member responsible as the point of contact to direct inquiries and liaise with organizers. I'm going to pass it over to Mary Catherine to provide an overview of the recommendations for recreation facilities.
Thank you, Danielle. Good evening, everyone. My presentation will, this part of the presentation will deal with specifically with facilities, and the first slide is about indoor facilities. So our ice pad recommendations focus on retaining the 3 existing pads and optimizing use of these facilities for all users to the extent possible, as well as preparing a study on the feasibility of building a multiplex to include ice pads and other needed community recreation facilities that aren't part of existing supply. Hall and multipurpose space recommendations focus on using existing facilities, including the Battawa community and kitchen, to further develop the types of programs noted by Danielle, and also looking at increasing the use of the Trentport Marina Gathering Hall through wider promotion and evaluation of needed features that will generate more use, and also a possible reduced rental rate on weekends. Next slide, please. With respect to arts and heritage facilities, we recommended that the municipality use the design concept in the 2022 building space analysis for the former Trenton Town Hall as a basis for an assessment to verify the local and visitor markets for proposed facility components and sizes for all intended or potential uses, and the feasibility of undertaking the work. As part of this work, the municipality should consider the position and the future of the Trenton's Old Church Hall Theatre in order to ensure that whatever recommendations emerge are complementary, are synergistic, and also to work with the Indigenous community to discuss their interest in co-locating cultural and heritage initiatives at the hall, at the town hall. Next slide, please. With respect to the youth center, we recommend that the municipality continue to support the Quinte West Youth Center by facilitating its access to space in the community other than its current location, as well as looking at options to improve public transit to their existing center. And also to work with the Trenton Curling Club executive to clarify the division of responsibility for facility costs and operations between the club and the municipality, and to support the preparation of a building conditions assessment, as well as assess the potential for the facility to also function as a seniors center, because that was one of their interests. Next slide, please. With respect to outdoor facilities, ball diamonds specifically, we recommended creating a 2-diamond facility for organized use in tournaments at Wooler Park by upgrading the pavilion and the inferior diamond and adding a washroom, and undertaking needed upgrades at the Frankfurt Diamond, as well as consulting with local residents to identify required upgrades to Montrose Park. Recommendations for soccer fields include that based on current levels of use in relation to available capacity, we don't see the need for any new soccer fields during the term of the plan, and fields other than those at Centennial Park should be considered for their potential to accommodate a wider range of field sports, particularly as the municipality monitors interest and demand for some of these different types of activities. And for both ball, diamonds, and soccer fields, we are recommending it to adopt a targeted level of service that reflects the capacity use of facilities, and that's the level of use that the municipality would aim for before recommending or thinking about adding to supply. And also to monitor and track the use of all facilities and request for regular use that cannot be accommodated against this target to verify demand for and the timing of additions to supply of existing diamonds and soccer fields. Next slide, please. With respect to tennis and pickleball courts, our focus was on separating the 2 uses by providing designated courts for each sport, developing 2 designated tennis courts at each of Hannah Park and in Battawa, and plan for up to 2 more to the end of the plan, developing a total of 16 pickleball courts in Hannah Park and 1 or 2 other locations, and continuing to support the Trenton Racquet Club in providing organized tennis and pickleball. And with respect to casual use of facilities, we recommended posting an honor system rules at all courts to manage the use and to monitor use over time to verify demand for additional facilities or lighting if that will serve the demand for additional access to courts. And with respect to, there was interest in the community for an artificial indoor turf field or field house. And that would, in our view, that would represent an enhanced level of service. But if the municipality decides to investigate that, it should be part of a larger study that considers similar facilities in surrounding area and working with potentially interested non-municipal parties. Outdoor events, next slide please, sorry. Outdoor events and facilities and spaces. Conduct an audit of the use of space at Centennial Park to identify opportunities to rent the Bob Wanamaker Amphitheater via relevant program promotion agencies and promote other available spaces for events. Work with volunteer sector to provide and maintain the beach volleyball courts in Centennial Park, as well as developing youth and young adult participation in lawn bowling in conjunction with the club. And also look into purchasing time at the 8-wing CFB outdoor pool for use by non-affiliated residents. In addition to monitoring and tracking future demand for additions to the existing facility supply, such as lawn bowling greens, the municipality should also consider sports and activities of emerging interest that may require the multi-purpose fields we talked about a couple of slides ago, for things like lacrosse, football, or other types of dedicated facilities like cricket, because that's becoming a much more popular sport in Ontario. Sorry, my voice seems to be going. And I think this is the last slide for recreation facilities with respect to upgrades and improvements. To use the building conditions assessment to align plans for future facility development and to minimize investment in keeping existing facilities operating, and to verify the need for improvements and upgrades to facilities reported by community groups and those that are required to be dealt with in annual asset management budgets, and to develop an LED light replacement program for ball diamonds, as well as in all cases when developing or improving facilities to consider opportunities to design facilities to be inclusive. I think that's, yes, now I'm going to hand it back to Danielle to discuss parks and open spaces.
Thanks, MC. So the park section of the plan begins with a discussion on park supply and distribution, and that includes recommendations to develop policy in the official plan that guides when to accept parkland dedication versus cash in lieu, to combine parkland parcels where possible to make larger parks, and to consider opportunities in existing open spaces for managed naturalization or reprioritization for city needs. The plan includes some strategies for parks and open spaces across the whole city, including improving signage and wayfinding, implementing managed naturalization practices, potentially through a dedicated horticulturalist, and partnering with local organizations on these efforts. The plan recommends that parks and trails be updated to comply with AODA standards and accessibility initiatives be advanced with the advisory committee. It's also recommended that the city explore options to better equip parks to host small to mid-size events through improvements like lighting, seating, pavilions, water access, power hookups, washrooms, and connectivity to trails. Skate parks are currently sufficient for demand, so the city should prioritize upgrading and maintaining the existing facilities. The plan recommends exploring the potential for new recreational opportunities at Tremor Lake. There are also a handful of recommendations for Mount Pelion Park, including improvements to safety and accessibility, wayfinding, and trails. The discussion includes potential new attractions and interactive features to establish Mount Pelion as a destination spot and encourage more use and engagement. And given the park's proximity to Dufferin Park, activities could be combined on both sites. Finally, the plan recommends new park amenities, including areas for naturalized swimming, an off-leash dog trail at Bada Island, upgrading half courts to full-size basketball courts, and installing lighting where appropriate. and adding outdoor fitness equipment to larger parks in Trenton suitable for both adults and children. I'll now pass it back to MC to provide an overview of the recommendations for the recreation service delivery system.
Thanks, Danielle. Next slide, please. The municipal role in parks and recreation. The municipality operates as an indirect service provider, which we recommend continue, and that for the purposes of implementing the master plan, that the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee be appointed as the primary body to support staff and council. And a second recommendation under service delivery in terms of role is to get assistance from each of the other advisory committees as appropriate in developing policies that we'll talk about as needed as part of service delivery. Recommendations regarding revenue generation initiatives include improving existing programs and developing new ones, such as guidance on facility naming rights and sponsorship, and adding healthier food choices to products for sale at recreation facilities. Next slide, please. Collaborations and agreements. As an indirect service provider, Quinte West will continue to work with other agencies and organizations to build community programs, and these agencies include the YMCA, and looking to the Y to offer satellite programming at locations other than John Williams, and working with the municipality to improve planning and financial contributions. Collaborating with 8-Wing CFB Trenton to provide services to the community. Reaching out to regional and provincial agencies such as Special Olympics to offer programs locally. Securing access to school facilities for recreation, and collaborating with post-secondary schools in the area to access expertise and student placements in parks and recreation. Also looking at, because of the need and the potential to work with lots of different organizations, look to opportunities to ease or eliminate administrative obstacles to service provision by volunteer organizations and agencies and individual program providers to make it easy for them to offer programs on behalf of the municipality. And all collaborations should be supported by agreements, which should also be regularly reviewed and updated as required. Next slide, please. So there are a number of policy recommendations intended to clarify and streamline operations, including affordable access and inclusion, community group affiliation, collaborations and partnership, facility allocation, storage, and special events, along with the special event management software for event planning and evaluation purposes. Consulting with volunteer groups will help identify the type and extent of required assistance needed as part of an affiliation policy in relation to the city's capacity to support this sector. A service pricing study should be prepared as a basis for setting fees, as it can relate actual costs to the costs of recovery targets in relation to municipal objectives in providing different categories of service. Next slide, please. So using recreation management software, we recommended that the municipality develop an enhanced database to apply in a formal recreation facilities and program services planning, which Danielle talked about a little bit earlier, to verify community service needs, monitor and evaluate the success of service responses, and incorporate the results in subsequent planning activities. The city would need to take a lead role in facilitating regularly occurring joint planning sessions with all key non-municipal agencies and organization that it works with or relies on to provide recreation services to the community to ensure a coordinated and tight approach to ensuring all the community's needs are met. And given the work involved in establishing and continuing the range of actions recommended to strengthen and improve the delivery of services that the report has recommended throughout all of these slides, it also recommends the addition of a full-time community development staff person to take responsibility for all of the initiatives and their continued operation. So there's a lot of work to be done, And we recommend that one person be assigned hired and assigned the task of dealing with the implementation of partnerships, policies, evaluation, data collection, all the service delivery aspects of the plan. And finally, the master plan should be reviewed and updated halfway through its term, which would be around 2032-33. And I believe the next section is implementation. Yes, this is our last slide, I believe. The plan contains 124 recommendations in total over a 15-year time frame to 2039. In total, they're intended to guide the city strategically in meeting residents' needs across the age and stage spectrum to the end of the term. We have provided an anticipated time frame for implementing each recommendation, distributing them over the 15-year time frame based on priority, including immediate in the next year, short term, 2 to 5 years, medium term, 6 to 10 years, and long term, 11 to 15 years. Considerations for determining priorities include accessibility, safety, backlog of requirements in terms of upgrades to facilities and things that still need to be done, consultation findings, and preparation for the future. Many of the recommendations are operations oriented. For capital projects, we work with staff on a set of cost estimates, which include design fees, initial project startup permits, insurance, protection, fencing, construction, signage, and contingency. These are intended to support budget planning and monitoring in the future. Actual costs may be more or less than those shown depending on design choices, materials, finishes, or more modest approaches. It's important to note that our recommendations are not rigid rules or requirements. Many of them will require further discussion and consultation with the public to reflect changes in municipal capacity, trends, community needs, and interests before they are proposed to council and implemented. It is also important to consider that some recommendations are interrelated, where they must be initiated and completed before others can begin, while others may benefit from being undertaken simultaneously in terms of process efficiency. And I believe that's the last. Yes. Thank you very much for your time and attention. We're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go to council for questions. Council, anybody questions to start with? Councillor Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thanks to the consultants and the staff team. I think this Parks and Rec Culture Master Plan is very well done. I like the way it's presented and the priorities, and also that for large items that require further study, you've indicated, particularly in facility and major park development, that we have more details before we go forward with those, such as feasibility studies. I just wanted to comment, I really like the recreation programming outreach, and I do look forward to seeing the programming agreements that we need to enter into, something standardized, or when we let external groups or work with external groups, partners, to utilize services and how we can work together. And I think that does need to be addressed. I think it's excellent. I just wanted to ask if I could, regarding I guess, older adult senior programs. And I'm thinking of Club 105 or Seniors Unlimited. And was there any, I know a lot of the programming is for all of us, whether it's trails, outreach, arts, culture, wonderful. But in the recommendations, was there any specific senior facility that did come out through any of the discussions at all, specific or a community hall with regard to senior programming, or no? Please. Thank you.
Through your worship, I think MC, do you want to speak about the curling club? There was a recommendation about exploring it as a senior center, was there not?
There may well be. There were so many recommendations, so that's maybe what we might look towards in the future, that particular potential. Okay, thank you.
I will say there is within the age-specific program section of the plan, there's a discussion about, the existing seniors clubs and seniors groups. But I think in terms of a specific facility, the closest that comes to a recommendation would be I think it was the one about the curling club and exploring it as a potential space.
Sorry, I couldn't get my mute to go off. The curling club is interested in rejuvenating its facility and using it for things other than curling. So that seemed like a good fit for something to look into in terms of the fact that it's an existing building and there's space there that might be utilized for other activities geared to seniors. And that would be something that would have to be looked into in relation to building conditions and what could be done to make that happen.
Anyone else coming this way? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, did your study look at any areas of Quinte West that you felt was under service, that something need to be done in those areas first?
I will say, I mean, we considered the area holistically, and we did look at provision of particular amenities and facilities within each area. Given the size of the municipality, we weren't going area by area or neighborhood by neighborhood in terms of facilities. But our implementation table, which is in the appendix, goes through each recommendation and the priority in terms of its immediate term, short term, and we had many discussions with staff about ensuring that there was a good balance. So, for instance, we heard a lot from the community about needing more in the east end of the city, for example, Montrose Park. And so there's a couple of recommendations specific to Montrose about, consulting with the community further about, what's appropriate to place there. I believe some of the programming recommendations also suggest some activities that could take place there. Anything to add on, Catherine?
Yeah, I think we did look at trying to distribute future facilities that weren't centralized. For instance, if you provide an arena, it would be centralized, but other facilities that could be located in different areas of the community to improve services, such as the pickleball courts and upgrading some of the diamonds in away from the primary urban area. And also, I think with respect to programming, if the municipality can get some better access or guaranteed access through some reciprocal agreements with the school boards, that those facilities will become more activated and they are distributed throughout the community, so people would have better access to programs in those spaces.
Yeah, just to add one more time, I think our intention with some of the upgrades proposed to the Ottawa Community Center is to include it as a core space for, there's kitchen facilities, there's space there for programs.
Councillor Quinte.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much for putting this together. I'm sure this took quite a number of weeks and months to write this all up, because it took me about 30 to 40 minutes to just read through it all. And I would encourage our citizens to do exactly that. You can access this here on today's agenda, or perhaps maybe you can come to City Hall, and is a printed copy available if people want one? Yes, we have a printed copy available if you would like to come and get one. And the one thing I wrote down is I heard outdoor cooking classes, so I'm ready to sign up for that. Thanks.
You gonna use roadkill?
Sure. Get enough seasoning, some special sauce. Thanks.
Yeah.
Could you lead it? Could you lead the class?
Yeah. Yes, I could.
Okay. Councillor Reid, you got a comment or question?
Yes, thank you very much. Excellent read for sure. Very, very thorough. I just wanted to mention a couple of things. Councillor Freeman and I are involved with the Quinte West Library Board, and they are doing a lot of lending library things with cooking classes and outside yard equipment and things like that. So it's I'm sure that they will be interested to find out what your other suggestions would be, but they are well on board with doing lending libraries, and I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to speak with them to find that out, but I just thought that that's a very important thing for all of council members to know and the public. I would like to mention that there's more than one youth center in Quinte West. There's one in Trenton and there's another one in Frankfurt. So we have two youth centers in Frankfurt, and so that may want to be changed a little bit in your final report. And we're speaking about the outdoor event facilities, it mentioned the Bob Wanamaker Amphitheater, which is great. There's another pavilion in Centennial Park, and there's one in Frankfurt Tourist Park as well that gets utilized a lot. So those also should be given consideration because they're very, very active pavilions as well. But I think it was wonderful, and I think I particularly liked the way that you presented it so that we could gradually buy into the Parks and Rec master plan. It's not that has to be all done in the first year or the second year. I really appreciated that, seeing that spanned out over a long period of time. So thank you very much for that.
If I may, through you, Mr. Mayor, thank you, Councillor Reid. Yeah, we had a really wonderful interview with the public library, and we're impressed with the state of the existing lending library program. So as you said, gardening tools, life jackets, day passes, video games, board games, incredible. They were definitely interested in expanding, and we thought if this is something where we can have self-directed recreation, if it's sports, if it's everything from basketballs to footballs to maybe eventually water sports. I think there's ways to expand on that program and determine the how and the where, which is quite exciting.
Okay, well, you did mention Battawa Kitchen Facility. And of course, we are controlled by the Department of Health, our Minister of Health, and that's what, what's happened to the kitchen facility in Battawa. So thank you, thank you. Anyone else? Oh, okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate the work you did and the comments, questions. So yes, everything is cheap no matter what you do, but yeah. Anyways, the ice worked well this winter. We have a team in Calgary competing, so that was from mostly the dunk ice, but they did also practice in Frankfurt on occasion. So Frankfurt has the best ice in our city. So, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Well, good luck to them.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, anyone for public? Okay, well, we'll keep going then. Okay, committee reports, corporate service resolution that staff report Quinte West 2025-00074 by Josh Masinski, Director of Corporate Services, regarding strong mirror powers be received. Okay, that's it, be received. Any comments or questions on this one? Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this mandate from the province erodes the power of councillors, and I do disagree with it wholly. I'm glad that you feel you won't use them, but I think the province missed the whole boat mandating these powers.
Okay, that's a good point you just made. I want you to make everybody aware that when we made a change with the CAO, that was a council decision. That was nothing to do with strong mayors. That was council decision. And thank you very much for your direction. I appreciate that. And I don't disagree with Councillor O'Neill. I don't, yeah, anyways. I'm just a guy on the wheel here, so I keep turning. But, okay, all in favor of that report? I guess that's what we have to have. We need to move in a second, or I guess Councillor Elliott and Councillor Card. Any further comments? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Worship. I did have a quick question for the clerk relating to the veto powers. And I apologize if you don't know the answer. I didn't ask you the question before. But related to the bylaw veto powers and the budget veto powers, are they line item veto powers or entire document veto powers?
Through you to Councillor Card, as for the budget question, I'm not entirely sure yet. The Treasurer and I haven't had time to actually wrap our heads around how the strong mayor powers change our budget process. But as for vetoing specific bylaws, It's my understanding that the mayor would have the opportunity to veto bylaws in their entirety as they're passed, as they're presented.
And not just parts of the bylaw, parts of the
That's-
adopted motion.
That's my understanding, yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Well,
Mr.
you
Mayor.
know, sorry, go ahead, Councillor Sharp. Go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And to the clerk, with regard to any mayor or the mayor within this, any mayor, if they do want to exercise the power given within this, which is their right, is it clear that this must be, if I read this correctly, must be exercised in writing by giving notice to the clerk in advance of the decision, or it can just be done after the decision? Just trying to understand process.
Yep.
Thank you.
Through you to Councillor Sharp. I'm in the midst right now of actually developing some guidelines for myself and the CAO, that guides us in terms of what happens when the mayor would like to exercise them. From what I understand from reading the legislation is that if the mayor would like to exercise it outside of the context of a council meeting, of course, the mayor has the power to bring something up in the middle of a meeting despite any procedural bylaw rules. But if the mayor would like to exercise any of those powers outside of a council meeting, such as any of the administrative powers that were discussed before, he has to do that in writing. Some of the language in there says that it needs to be within 24 hours. But again, in terms of process, we're going to try to make it as transparent as possible so that that is provided in writing to council beforehand.
Thank you. Okay, anything else? Councillor Bush.
Thank you, Your Worship, and this certainly isn't a reflection on our current mayor. This is a reflection on the proposed new legislation, and I certainly agree with Councillor O'Neill on this, that I don't think it was necessarily important to give the mayor of any municipality more powers to increase the, more housing and things. I think that was kind of put in there as like, if you don't do it, you won't get certain incentives or things. But I think an effective council, like we're all voted in, and we all have one vote, and I think it does erode, in my opinion, the democracy of what a council is there to do. And like I say, it's has no reflection on you, Your Worship, and how you've been. It's just the whole issue of this legislation really isn't really something that's going to make more homes and make more things. I think an effective council does that, not one person. And so I certainly disagree with the legislation, and it's very unfortunate. I disagreed with it when it came in with the few municipalities, long before ours came in, and I simply wish they hadn't done this.
Councillor Quinte and then Councillor Steno.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I do agree with my fellow councillors in regards to this legislation, which we can't really throw it back either. We actually have to write a letter to the Minister of Housing and Municipal Affairs and ask them to consider rescinding their decision. That's how it has to be done. We can't even vote on whether we like it or we don't like it. So I understand why staff is presenting it, and I'll vote to accept it because we don't really have any choice. So we got this information getting rammed down our throats, and I agree with my fellow councillors. No reflection on current mayor, but in a year and a half, we're going to be in a municipal election, and Mayor Harrison may run again, or there may be a new mayor, and that mayor, it appears like this doesn't really seem to have an ending date to it. It's got a start date, and the only end date I read in here is that the province of Ontario wants to build 1.5 million new residential units by December 31st, 2031. Sorry. and it doesn't indicate whether the strong mayor powers end at that time or whether they just keep rolling along it. Yeah. So we have to wait for our beloved province to inform us in regards to that. And so, because I view this as eroding councillors' functions and responsibilities, do we even need a 13-member council going forward after now that this is implemented, along with many of the other small changes that have occurred over the past 3 or 4 years in regards to how councils operate? So I'm thinking out loud. So I'm just very concerned that this is even here. We've worked really hard in the past decade even with our planning department, our public works department. We've had to come up with our development charges to draft up a plan for growing the city for housing. The plans are all there, and now the economic conditions in the country are very challenging for developers to build houses or apartment buildings or condominiums. And then one condominium burns down just before it's almost ready to get occupied. So what a disaster. And now, not even mentioned in this report, coming in coming weeks and a month or so, the province of Ontario has asked us to come up with an asset management plan, which is going to come forward as well. And I guess one of my biggest questions in here is, like, we've been doing our budgeting process in a challenging budgeting process in a way where the staff puts all their numbers together. They're starting right now to do their budgeting process for 2026, and they'll be coming to the staff in roughly December, I guess, is what we usually been doing. But in this legislation, it says, Mr. Mayor, that we won't be able to do it that way. You can bring it to us at a time, but if you don't bring it to us, we can't do our budgeting process until after February 1st, which puts us behind the 8 ball for doing any major projects or getting bids out in a timely fashion. To me, it really handcuffs us. If you don't want to exercise your powers provided here in this legislation in regards to the budget, which I would recommend that you take the bull by the horns, Mr. Mayor, and present a budget to the citizens in December, so we would get a chance to review it and tweak it if it meant to your satisfaction, so that our city can still go forward in a positive way to getting our bids out there. Anyway, those are some of my comments. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Stendhal.
Thank you, Your Worship. So there was a timeline when we could actually make comments on this legislation, and the period of time, there was 15 days when we could make some kind of submission between the announcements of the provincial government and when it was actually proclaimed, and that was prior to May 1st. I did actually make a submission on my own behalf, not on behalf of any municipality that I may be affiliated with, to say the same thing that the councillors around the table have said. The same thing is that this undermines our democracy. It basically hand ties the rest of council. But the real issue that I have with this piece of legislation that's come through is that for the 169 municipalities that are on the list here, the first 42 municipalities got money. So show me the money.
We haven't got it.
Where's our money? You know, they were given large pockets, and that's the reason that our neighbor, they went ahead and they undertook the strong mayor powers, was for that cash to be able to build more homes. We're not getting any of that. And so I don't understand, and I have not had it appropriately explained to me, is that how this piece of legislation for the other 169, including Quinte West, actually helps us get more homes built. Like, I don't see that.
I don't know.
So, anyway, those are my comments.
You're not looking through any different glasses than I am. Yes, thank you. Any Councillor Card?
Thank you, Your Worship. I won't belabor the point, but agree with comments that the other councillors have made. It is entirely unclear to me how having strong mayor powers in Quinte West will further provincial priorities. I don't make that connection or follow that at all, or how it will achieve more housing starts in Quinte West. Was a solution in search of a problem in that regard, in my opinion. And it does erode the democratic tradition of municipal councils, specifically with the budget. And again, no comment on our current mayor, but just in general, a mayor with 1/3 of the council votes can sustain a budget, and one third of any given council, depending, I mean, that represent a very small portion of the population when they're not at large seats, as in some municipalities are. So it's, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. And I hope that it, is used sparingly. That's for sure. Thank you.
Okay. Josh, City Clerk, can I ask a question? If we pass a motion that you are responsible for bringing forth to council the ability to develop a budget, is that a possibility, or do you know?
Sorry.
Well, what I'm asking council to do is to put a motion on the table that would go to you and ask you to bring forth to council the ability to develop our budget.
So I think through the way that the legislation is written is that you actually, regardless of whether you plan to present a budget as the mayor under strong mayor powers or not, you still have to exercise strong mayor powers to get a budget presented. So you could either bring a budget yourself, or you can direct the treasurer to bring forward a budget the way that we have typically done it. Now, there are a ton of rules and timelines that correspond with either option. And when Director Dowd and I have an opportunity to wrap our heads around what all of that means, we'll certainly be meeting with yourself and having a conversation with council about what that process might look like, depending on what you choose. But at the end of the day, that will be up to you.
Okay. All right. So basically what I'm saying is that we'll continue the same process. Yes, we will, and we'll come down to the final figure and we will agree on it, or most of us will agree. That's it. Okay. Thank you very much. And listen, any more information that you can provide for us is great. I'm of the same feeling as the other council members here. I don't understand the purpose. I don't understand why, if it isn't broke, why break it? We have a good democratic process here where people are out on a regular basis doing their job and communicating to the residents to the best of our ability and bringing it back here so that we can deal with it. So, so if this strong mayor powers gives me really power, then I should be able to ask the Director of Finance for money, and I should get it. Is that right? Okay. I don't think he's changed his answer at all.
Like, if you just need $5, Mr. Mayor, I can lend you $5.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's, from my point of view as a mayor, I think the most important part of everything we do is honesty. Yes, we may not always agree, but we're honest with each other and we're honest with the people to the best of our ability. And that's what we have to continue to do. Yes, I can tell you my wife helps me get dressed every day, and sometimes it's the best part of the day. Thank you. Okay. Jeez. All right. Where did I leave off here? Public input, I think it was, wasn't it?
No, sorry, Mr. Mayor, we just need a motion to receive the report.
Okay, motion to receive the report. Thank you. Councillor Card, Councillor Sharp. Sorry, Councillor Neal, get you next time. All right, any other comments? All in favor? Thank you. Okay. All right. All right. Which one am I at now? I'm at the
Department of National Defense.
Yeah, the NDICF training venue request be received and council adopt the execution bylaw included in the agenda. Okay, resolution that, yeah, need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Quincy moves it, Councillor O'Neill seconds it. Any other comments or questions? All in favor? Just before I leave this topic, I want you to at base 31 is the Lancaster, and it's I think almost ready to be moved back here to this to our museum. And the guy that flew that first plane, that Lancaster that's there, is in this city. You know? His name is Noel Fudge. He's 97 years old, and he's just a fantastic guy. Fantastic gentleman to talk to, and he can tell you, yeah, like where he flew, what, you know, almost to the day and to the hour when he landed and what he did. But he was the first guy to fly that plane when it was new. And the window of the cockpit's about this big, maybe a foot by 2 feet or something, but Noel Fudge is about this high, not much higher, but just a fantastic guy to talk to. And yeah, so we should invite him to council when they move that plane and have him here share some of the stories that he's got. He's anyways, I know. And he works on the restoration side of the planes, and everything that they do is meticulous. It's not just the screw fits here or the rivet. It's the exact same screw where it should be and the rivet where it should be. So it's fantastic, I think, anyways. Okay. All in favor of that motion? Carried, thank you. Okay, I'm at the one where the Heritage Resolution by Caleb Denoud, Director of Finance Treasurer, regarding Heritage Tax Rebate Program be received, and that Council direct staff to develop a Heritage Tax Rebate Program with a 40% rebate on property taxes for those properties that have been designated under the Ontario Heritage Act. Moved by Councillor Stedall, seconded by Councillor Sharp. Any comments or questions? Yes, Councillor Quincy, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I can't support granting a rebate to Heritage Tax Rebate Program. So I'm not going to be supporting this. Going to request a recorded vote on it. And I know it's not a lot of money, but our staff already has lots to do. And after our budgeting process in the past couple of years, and now going through strong mayor powers with no economic resources coming from the province of Ontario there, and our asset management program, we don't have any money to give to anything or anybody. We need to hang on to every penny. Otherwise, Ms. Grimmon's not going to be able to implement her new plan for the parks and recreation, because we are going to be struggling to do a lot of things. Anyhow, that's my opinion. Thanks.
I'm going to ask Director Denouden to comment on this before I go any further, because, go ahead, please.
Sure, thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, I would concur with Councillor Quincy's comments about our financial constraints, and we bring this forward every year at budget, you know, the financial challenges that the city has. Of course, we were asked to go to the Heritage Advisory Committee and see what they were looking for in terms of the support, and recommended this to council. I think when it comes to the Heritage Advisory Committee, there is a committee there looking to accomplish certain goals, and this would, in my understanding, be the lowest, I guess, cost program that we could probably offer to this committee in terms of their purpose and their mission, and that's why we've got it proposed here. But I completely understand the financial challenges, and there is a cost to the city of this program.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Stedall, then I'll come this way.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move that the motion be I put it on the table. I support this motion. I think history is really important for our municipality, and for a cost of up to $10,000, if there's applications. It depends whether or not there are applications. I think it's worth it that we can at least try to assist some of these agencies and volunteer groups that try to help maintain some of our history. If we don't remember history, if we don't have history in our municipality, and we choose to forget or demolish these types of buildings and don't have, at least something to assist them to do some of these small contributions to what we have achieved in society, I think that just it leads us down the path where we'll make mistakes in the future if we don't, maintain what we have and appreciate what we have.
Thank you. Coming this way. Councillor Kutsovas and Councillor Sharp.
Thank you. Yes, these buildings add character and oftentimes can even increase tourism. When reading through the report, 40% does seem fairly steep. I'm not opposed to supporting this motion at all. I know we may be tight with the budget, and I understand our fellow councillors' concerns. It does say the bylaw provides tax relief between 10 and 40%. So the motion is 40, that is steep, but I would wonder if fellow councillors would entertain a lower amount, more like that bottom line at 10%.
Okay, Councillor Sharp, and then I'll come back to that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did second in the motion, and I just want to add to what other Councillor Stedall has indicated. Here's an opportunity to support heritage and culture. And there's, I think they indicated in the report, 60 potential sites within the community, but must apply annually. And they would be vetted and reviewed by the advisory committee and staff. I think preserving heritage of our buildings and facilities is very important. I'd like to stick with the recommendation as is, because we don't have to give. It's up to that amount, but certainly want to speak in support of this one opportunity, or a opportunity to support heritage and culture. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, all in favor of the motion, I guess that's what I need to know.
I requested a recorded vote.
Okay, recorded vote.
So everyone,
Recorded vote.
everyone's clear on the motion?
40%?
40%.
40%, yes, yes.
Councillor Ellier?
Yes.
Councillor Armstrong?
Yes.
Councillor Boyce?
Yes.
Councillor Card?
No.
Councillor Freeman?
Yes.
No, she says her hand.
Councillor Freeman, we didn't get,
Hands up.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I'm having some problems with my computer.
oh, you're fine.
Are you in favor of the motion, Councillor Freeman?
Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Kotsovas?
No.
Councillor Quinte?
No.
Councillor O'Neill?
No.
Councillor Sharp?
Yes.
Councillor Stedall?
Yes.
Mayor Harrison?
Yes.
Sorry, did I miss Councillor Reed there?
Yes, you did.
Did. My
Sorry,
vote's no.
Well, you have to vote,
Yeah.
because if you don't vote, it's a no.
No, I said no.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
okay, okay.
Seven yeas and 5 noes.
Okay, thank you. All right, motion's carried. Okay, we're on to the next, planning and development, staff report by Kerry West, Supervisor of Bylaw Enforcement, regarding permanent parking be received, and the council directs staff to continue the practice of pre-parking in all city-owned lots with no reserved spaces or permits provided. Or prepare a report for council outlining recommendations regarding the implementation of a parking permit process. What do you want to do? That's what I need. A mover and a seconder for the motion. Tell me what it is. Councillor Card, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm happy to move to ask for a report from staff outlining some recommendations. Did have a chance to speak to Director Jardine before the meeting, and just based on some input from some folks downtown, between DBIA, Chamber of Commerce, and all of the different businesses that they speak to about this issue, come into contact with, as is, I think, mentioned a little bit in the report here, that there is some congestion at some of the high traffic lots, certainly, and with no time limit, as is currently policy. There are, vehicles, presumably, staff and owners that are taking up maybe some of the prime locations that we would want to be high traffic customers in and out. And so, though I personally would like to leave it to staff whether the remedy to that problem is a permit process or some different length of time, perhaps at those lots, implementing a 4-hour limit to stop the all day, to have some turnover for customers to have access to those prime parking in those lots. I'll leave it up to staff in the report, but that seems to be the consensus, at least what I'm hearing from downtown in Trenton, that is the issues, opportunities for betterment of the current parking plan.
Councillor Katsoulis.
Thank you. Just a comment. There is a part on page 2 where it says warning notices were given. I would just like to know how and when these warning notices were issued, if staff can answer that, please, because based on everyone that's provided feedback or complaints to myself, there was never any warnings. It was just ticketed, and there was no indication that they were going to start ticketing. It just happened.
Anybody answer that?
Yeah, through your worship. So this relates to the implementation of the 2-hour parking. I can't remember the very specific dates, but there was a period of at least a month where staff were informing people that they were in contravention of the 2-hour limit, but either give them a warning, verbal warning, notification, but did not issue tickets. So there was a specific period in which we did not issue tickets, even though the bylaw was in place. I think it was around October of last year. Yeah.
Okay. Any more comments?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Didn't we just vote on this parking thing like 7 or 8 months ago? Why is it coming back again? That's, I guess, why is this coming back?
I can't answer that question, but Director Jardine.
To you, Mr. Chair. Sorry, Mr. Mayor. So why is it coming back? It's coming back because under the previous system, as council are aware, when we charged for parking, there was a parking permit system whereby people could buy a permit, attach it to their car, and not have to feed the meter essentially on a regular basis. Obviously, since we moved to a free parking system, the parking permit as it was, that system went with that. There's no need for that because the parking is free. Since that time, and just working with, as Councillor Card mentioned, comments we're receiving from downtown businesses, etc., the question has come back on the table as to whether or not there's still a role for some form of permit parking. Now, under the new system, that would not be a way of prepaying as such. It would be a way of reserving a spot. And I think that's one of the things that essentially has been lost through all of the parking being free. There's no way to reserve a spot and pay for it or not. And so that question has been raised, and that's why we're bringing it forward. So with Council's direction to bring back a report, what we'd be bringing back is some of the pros and cons, some of the implementation issues around reinstating a permit process, so that people could buy a permit and thereby reserve a spot within a defined place. Obviously, the report would specify where those places would be. To Councillor Carr's point, we have to always keep in mind that the whole reason for changing our parking system was to make sure that downtown businesses and their patrons get those most available spots for quick turnaround. So if people are reserving spots, it would probably not be in the most ideal spots, but within some of the lots. That's the kind of information we bring forward. So it has been raised since we've implemented it. It has been raised by members of the public, and it's been raised by the DBA, and that's why we're bringing it forward.
Thank you.
Okay.
So you need a seconder to prepare a report for council outlining recommendations regarding the implementation of a parking permit process.
I guess so.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Worship. And again, just to add that if there are some suggestions of remedy that include not a permit system, that there is some tweaking of some of those lots, just the length of time to stay, certainly open to having those options presented in the report as well.
Yeah, the question, of course, is, Director Jardine, will we be saving money if we go to a permit process? And,
No.
you know, your bylaw people have to get out there and check on everything every day, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, thank you very much. It's an easy question to answer, right?
Yeah, through your worship, well, obviously, probably the simple answer to that is no, you probably won't save money, but one of the considerations that we'll bring back in the report is the financial aspect, staff resources and time to increase the enforcement piece, but then there's also potentially an opportunity to charge for permits, so we'll provide that kind of information in the report.
Thank you, okay. What do you need, Josh?
Just for the vote, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor? That's what I need. Thank you. Carried. Okay, the next one. Okay, the next one is Director Grimmon's, correct? Regarding the staff report 20-00066 regarding City of Quinte West Recreational Master Plan be received. Council approved the 15-year Quinte West Parks and Recreation Master Plan, and further that council direct staff to revise and so on and so forth. Councillor Armstrong, moved by Councillor Armstrong, seconded by Councillor Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yep.
Oh, you got a comment?
No, I'm just supporting it.
Okay. Any other comments? All in favor? Oh, Corey, Director Grimmon, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not trying to derail this this vote. I just wanted to point out in the presentation, the consultant was listing the totals for the price. No change to the numbers in regards to the impacts to the 10-year capital plan, but the overall amount in terms of the capital projects, I'm not sure if anybody caught that was a little bit different than what is in the report. So I just wanted to clarify that this would be as amended to match what was in the presentation, and that has already been updated to the master plan. You'll see that on the screen here. We've just got that pulled out from the presentation itself, just for transparency purposes.
Of course, everything we want to do will be supported by the provincial and federal government, correct? They'll send us a check right away. Yeah. If they do, let me know, will you? Because I want to be the first to take it to the bank. Anyways, yes, all in favor. Thank you. Okay, and next one is same Director Cooney regarding the Quinte West pop-ups agreements be received, and that authorize the execution of license agreements between the city and the following Quinte West pop-up vendors.
I'll move it.
Moved by Councillor Coonsey, seconded by Councillor Boyce. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Thank you.
Good luck, everyone.
Yes. Well, I'll just give you, while I'm still thinking about this, I was at the fishing derby on the weekend, and it was great. We had the OPP had their boat out on the water, and they had the officer, who was operating the boat, said that he had a great time out on the water, and that we had a great group of well-behaved fishermen. So it was a great tournament, and I was at one of the guys who was in the derby had a fish fry, and I just happened to land there at the right time, and so I helped them eat the
GPS on the fish.
Yeah, on the fish. Yeah. Well, my grandson happened to be out fishing with the same group, and I don't know who caught the fish. You know what fishermen are like. Yeah, I caught that one. So I believed everything. But the pickerel was good. It was very good. So, and I even had my wife with me, and she had some. And she's not a fisherman, and she eats fish because she's supposed to eat it on Friday. So, anyways, it was good. All right. Do I need to vote on that, or? Okay, so we're good. We're at the next one then. regarding housing enabling core servicing grant program be received. Council adopt the execution bylaw included in the agenda.
Yeah, this should be one of your favorite budget items.
Yeah, we'll take it, right? I need a mover and a seconder, don't I? Councillor Elliott, Councillor Sharp. Questions or comments?
Thank you very much.
All in favor? Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, we're at the budget of Project 2522 Highway 2 Urbanization Design be increased by an additional $395,000 for the cost of the design engineering work for Highway 2 between Second Dugout Road and County Road 40. Yeah, we'll need a mover and a seconder for this one.
I'll move it to put on the floor.
Get it on the floor. Councillor Elliott moves. Need a seconder?
I'll second it.
Councillor Quinte.
We got to get this done.
Questions or comments? Director or CAO Angelo, do you want to make any comments on this before we talk about it, or?
I can, Your Worship, but I'm going to actually let my colleague, Mr. Jackson, actually make a few comments.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, CEO Angelo, and through you, Mr. Mayor. In the last resolution, we talked about receiving this HEX Core Enabling Fund. And when, prior to that, when we brought the budget book forward to council, we were envisioning an interim, addition to Highway 2. But with this funding, this allowed us to look at the intersections and really maximize those for residential growth over the longer period. And with the HEX grant, every dollar that we spend, the province pays a dollar. So for us to maximize out this funding and really look at the long-term Highway 2 around Walmart to County Road 40, we're proposing to increase the design budget so that we can study that in a way that's better for the long term.
Any council or?
Yeah, you're gonna, because we're gonna be looking really long-term, are you including flying cars in the proposal going forward? Kind of like really long-term, like the Jetsons.
Yeah, right, yeah. Are we thinking about a roundabout out there someplace?
Mr. Mayor, yes, we're looking at several roundabouts to minimize the cost of lighting intersections.
I think that would be a great idea. I would support that.
Yes, me too. I think that's great. Thank you. Anything else? Any comments or questions from anybody? No? Okay. Need a vote? All in favor? I'm losing track of everything here. Okay, next is correspondence. Okay, the correspondence for council decision item 11.1 be received, and further that the city of Quinte West support the efforts of Southeast Health Unit Belleville office to reduce the risk of West Nile virus illness in our area, and further that council direct staff to sign the attached authorization letter to give permission to Southeast Health Unit Belleville to office to carry out larviciding activities to prevent and or control West Nile virus in our area if deemed necessary. Moved by Councillor Boyce, seconded by Councillor Katsoulis. Comments or questions? All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay, proclamations. May the...
Yeah, you got this one to do. Request for Women of Ontario. Right there.
That the correspondence for council decision items 11.1 be received, and further that the letter of support be forwarded to the minister on the behalf of the city. Councillor Stendhal moves, Councillor Armstrong seconds. Comments or questions? Councillor Sharp?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to speak to this. It did come up at our, the conference I was at, and also there was a recent press release in support of this, and it's moving forward, and it's basically looking at ensuring that we have standardization for our code of conducts throughout the province, and also our integrity commissioner process. They're trying to also look at that in terms of standardization, and also just to support strengthen accountability And these are, again, some of my notes. And so we all are working under the same rules and guidelines, and it is going forward. So I think it's positive, and I'll look forward to ensuring that that does from that end.
Thank you very much. Anything else? So we all don't have to have hair like CAO Angelo, right? Okay, thank you. That's good. That's good.
It's very nice. I shouldn't.
All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, proclamations, the first one I got, the resolution, council proclaimed May 13th, 2025 as World Felon Dafa Day in the city of Quinte West. Moving a seconder for this one. Councilor Armstrong moves, seconded by, need a seconder, or Councilor Armstrong, or Councilor Elliott seconds. All right, any comments? All in favor is what I need. I need to hold your hand up so I can count. Yep. All right, carried, thank you, okay. And the next one is council proclaimed May 15th as Global Accessibility Awareness Day in the city of Quinte West. Need a mover and a seconder for this one. Councilor Boyce moves, seconded by Councilor Freeman. Councilor Freeman, thank you very much. Okay. Any comments or questions? Comments or questions? All in favor? Thank you very much. Carried. And next one is the council proclaimed May 2025 as Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month in the city of Quinte West. And further, that Quinte West sign and Veteran Skyway Bridge be illuminated in the color blue May 24th, pending no scheduled conflicts. Moving to seconder for this one. Councilor Reed moves, seconded by Councilor Kutsovas. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. Carried. Okay. Council Melanoma and Skin Awareness Month resolution. Council proclaimed May as that Melanoma and Skin Awareness Month in the city of Quinte West. Moved and seconded for this one. Councilor O'Neill moves, seconded by Councilor Freeman. Thank you very much. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And council proclaim June the 1st to the, did I miss one? No. June the 1st to the 7th, 2025 is World Hemochromatitis Awareness Week in the city of Quinte West, and further the Quinte West and the Veteran Skyway Bridge be illuminated in the color red from June 1st to the 7th.
You missed one.
Did I? Okay, well, I'll come back to it. Okay. Yep. All in favor of this one?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Which one did I miss?
Pride Month.
Oh, Pride Month. Okay, sorry. Council proclaimed the month of June 2025 as Pride Month in the city of Quinte West, and the flag raising ceremony to honor Pride Month in June with a time to be confirmed, and that the flag be flown for the duration of the month of June. Okay, and further, the Quinte West sign, the Veteran Skyway Bridge, be illuminated in the color purple for rainbow to the month of June 2025, pending no scheduling conflicts. Moved by Councilor Stedall, seconded by Councilor Boyce. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. The next one, I already did it. So correspondence, I got printed information and non-printed. That's a really good one to read. All in favor? I need a mover and a seconder for proclamations. Councilor Sharp moves, seconded by Councilor Stedall. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, do you mean
any comments or questions?
Correspondence?
Pardon?
Just for clarification, Mr. Mayor, you mean correspondence?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
You said proclamations.
I'm sorry.
I just might want to mention, since we've had discussion tonight about the strong mayor powers, that Tillsonburg has made a council decision letter, which they were forwarding on to, about saying that they are resolved that the council of town of Tillsonburg does not support this proposed strong mayor powers as currently outlined. And I'm wondering if that's something that mayor and council are interested in doing as well.
Up to you. Up to you. Councilor Stedall.
Just to follow up, so, and I wanted to make notice how many municipalities did actually make that resolution. However, they are redundant and they don't mean anything. So municipalities can pass this and say that they're not interested in the powers, but my understanding, and the clerk could confirm, is that the legislation overrides anything that the municipalities put for a resolution. And so we can pass a resolution just to indicate that we have, in favor of it, but it means we still have to have them.
But that's what we're doing here, isn't it?
If we passed a resolution, the clerk can confirm this, but if we passed it, it doesn't mean anything. It would just be saying
But
that we
we're
didn't
still
agree with
passing
it.
right
The overall printed matter, yes,
Yeah.
correct, yes.
Yeah.
But if we had our own resolution.
Yours.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Boyce.
But I agree with Councillor Reid that, I mean, it was overwhelming to see all of the resolutions opposing the strong mayor power. So if we can also put our name to it, perhaps, when 344 or whatever the amount of the municipalities, if they all end up putting a letter out and saying they all oppose to it, I think that does send a message. So rather than just simply saying, well, there's a lot of them that have already done it, I would second Councillor Reid's motion to put our name in on it as well.
Do you want to send a letter, or what do you want to do?
Councillor Reid?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I do. I would like to send a letter to the Premier of Ontario and stating that the City of Quinte West does not support the proposed strong mayor powers as currently outlined, the same format as Tillsonburg has done, Tillsonburg Town Council. So that's my motion.
Councillor Reid, second by Councillor Boyce. We write a letter similar to Tillsonburg and send to the Premier. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so where are we now? Printed. Okay, printed, non-printed information and I hope printed. So I need a mover and a seconder for that information. Did I get one? Councillor said I'll move, seconded by Councillor Katsovas. Or was it Councillor Card? Sorry. Councillor Card, I'm sorry. I insulted one of you, didn't I? Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Okay. Next, we're at bylaws. Bylaws be read first, second, third time. First, second, third. Need a move in a second.
New business.
Oh, I gotta do bylaws, don't I, first, then new business. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting, somebody changed, okay. Any notices of motion, I guess that's what I got.
And then new business.
Then new business, any notice of motion? Okay, new business. Anything under new business? Councillor Armstrong.
I'd like to ask, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to ask Director Grimmin, if we're going to be taking extra safety precautions at Canada Day and events like that after what's happened out west, there seems to be a trend to help be proactive in putting up barriers and things like that. Or are we already doing that?
Thank you through Mr. Mayor to Councillor Armstrong. It's certainly something I can review with the team. I know the team takes safety very seriously and has great emergency measures and protocols in place for all of our events. So certainly I can take that feedback back to the team and review that in terms of the Canada Day plans for this year.
Okay, thank you. And of course, we have the OPP involved in all those activities, so they will give you the legal right direction, and thank you. Okay. Anything else that anything else under new business? Okay, we'll take bylaws. Bylaws, need to move in a second for bylaws. Mover, Councillor Elliott, Councillor Boyce. Comments or questions on bylaws? All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, I'm at confirmation bylaw.
No, planning and development services.
You want me to do planning and development? Okay. I don't have it on mine.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I skipped two, didn't I? Okay, bylaw, or planning and development, to authorize is that the one I got? To authorize the Corporation of Ontario, of Quinte West to enter into a consent agreement with Mark Henry Cooperas and Patricia Joan Cooperas, consent application B12-25M. Mover and a seconder for this one, Councillor Card, Councillor Elliott. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, next is Public Works, according to mine.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Mayor, I believe that we passed all of the bylaws. We did them all at once.
We passed all the bylaws, we got them all covered.
That's correct. We just need to do the confirmation bylaw.
Okay. All right, we need the confirmation bylaw. That's all what we need. Mover and a seconder for confirmation. Councillor Katsovas, seconded by Councillor Elliott. All right, any questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay, I guess we got to go. We're going into, right? So I'll leave this open. We'll close.
Yeah, you're in first.
Is it? So I can adjourn this one? Okay. All right, I need two for adjournment. Two for adjournment. Councillor Sharp, Councillor O'Neill. I knew he'd get his hand up. Thank you.